Alright. I've got my niece over. She and Kid are in the basement babysitting for a minute. So this is the perfect time, my friends, to do a little in-law update. I'm sure many people are wondering what the heck happened. I wish I could know for sure, but here's what I know. Not much. It's straight up what I would call passive aggressive, but I'm not sure that that's intentional. There's been no contact, people. It's been almost 2 months. In the middle of that 2 months, these are the things that have happened. Mr. F's 40th birthday, him getting a job, my birthday, Father's Day, his mother's birthday, our selling our house, moving, and his little sister had a baby. He hasn't called them. They haven't called us. And I am just trying to stay out of it. This is the one thing I did do. For his mother's birthday, because I knew that he didn't remember or send a card or do anything, I did dial the phone and give it to Kid to say happy birthday to his mom. And I think that she appreciated that. I don't know if I would assume she would know that I'm the one who initiated that, but who knows? I think they really all believe that I was the person who was causing the distance between them and Mr. F, because it's easier and not as hard to believe as maybe what is more true. And I think that since I have decided to just be uninvolved and there's just no contact, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure they think that's probably me being like, you can't talk to them anymore. That's not what's happening. It's just if I don't dial the phone or make plans or communicate, there is no communication. So that's kind of what's going on. I did hear from one sister that she was all upset and devastated and doesn't feel close to her son. And all I can say is the blog didn't make that stuff happen, people. That was already there, and it's still here, and if that's really how you feel, then you need to pick up the phone and call him and form a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I've got nothing to do with it. I mean, I don't know. I think that some people who are just, I don't really know. I mean, if you read the blog, you know that I wasn't expressing feelings that were uncomfortable for Mr. F to feel or express. You know what I mean? He was right there in there, but I think that, well, I'm definitely a different type of person, but the whole point of all the issues that ever happened, that I ever even complained about or had a blog about, had to do with their lack of communication or the awkward communication. And the results of those things. Patty? No. No barking. No. 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 Sorry. No. No barking. No. 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 And that's just exactly what has continued to happen. So, you know what I mean? Like, I never was saying, like, oh, they're horrible people or whatever. I also think a lot of stuff happened, or maybe some uncomfortability between other family members and us, in that a lot of people just have the belief that their relationship with a person or their parents is the same, and that your interpretation of it is what's different. And that's just not the truth, people. We are all treated differently by different people. And it is very likely that Mr. F was raised very differently and treated differently his whole life than even his siblings, you know? And I think many of us have had that experience, and if you have had that experience or knowledgeable of it, you know that that is just reality. It's not good or bad. It's different, and it doesn't mean that everyone didn't love each other, but it does mean that your relationship is different, and it can be more conflictual, it could be better, it could be worse, it could be uncomfortable, it could be repressed, intense, you know, whatever. And sometimes you need to sit and look outside of yourself and say, yes, it's possible that I was treated very differently, and that if I wasn't treated this way, I would have different feelings. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not all the same. It's not an equal slate. And there's definitely some of that going on. But on top of that, Mr. F and I are both been in therapy for a long time and have a different feeling about expressing feelings, and are both more comfortable doing that or feeling that that is acceptable right that you have or a goal to have. And I know, because I was very careful to do it this way, that there was nothing I wrote on my blog that wasn't either an account verbatim of what happened and then my feelings about the happenings. I never was attacking somebody or name calling or, trying to place somebody else's feelings on somebody else. Does that mean that I can't acknowledge that it would be hard to read that if you were the person? Of course, and that is why I wouldn't have written it if I'd known they were reading. But it doesn't make it not true, and it didn't make it happen. It already had happened, and everyone knew it happened, and, and honestly, there's no way to move forward if there can be no discussion. So we both wrote emails talking to his mom, and we never heard back, and you know what, I was like spending time trying to process or figure out what it was, why they weren't coming back, and it's like, I just can't. They're not getting back because they're not comfortable communicating, and I can't project a whole bunch of reasons why they're not communicating. I mean, yes, maybe what we said was upsetting, or maybe it wasn't. Who knows? So I'm just trying to be neutral about it. And I also it's so just pathetic that it's almost laughable that there's just no communication at all. That Mr. F has made no effort to communicate with them, and they've made no effort to communicate with him, and it's just like, they know we're moving only through the grapevine of other people who are reading the blog. They don't know on their own that we're moving or anything, and don't have our address, or, it's just like, I don't know. If you guys are all sad that you're not close to each other, then now is the time to make an effort. Because clearly, Mr. F is not going to do it. And now I'm in a position where I really can't do it, and nor do I think it's the right thing to do. And that's that. I don't know. How long is this now? Alright, it's getting long enough. Check.